and I have been living in Southeast Asia off and on for the last 3 years. And having an opportunity to immerse in the culture in this part of the world has given me an insight that there's something going on here within the lifestyle, within the belief system of the people. And therefore I've become more interested about what is this that makes it different. And so it seems to me it must be Buddhism. I've been living in Luang Prabang, Laos. We have upwards of 30-some temples that are active in a small community. And the entire atmosphere of this small town is really infused with this Buddhist culture. So I'm here with Supawan Green today, and she's going to answer some questions for me about what it is to practice Buddhism and what makes Buddhism a viable and very vital factor in our world today.
So let's say before the enlightenment of the Buddha, you know, humanity don't know what is what, okay, or scattering here and there. But right after the enlightenment of the Buddha, which he found an experience, he have bumped into an experience, let's say an experience. Experience is real, experience is science, okay? In Thai, I compare to he arrived at Pukadung. Pukadung is a national park in Loi, in Northeast province, very beautiful. Okay, he bumped into Pukadung, okay, which is a place, and then he was stunned by how beautiful, how, you know, lovely the place was. So I want you to realize that Nirvana is, he, on the night of the enlightenment, he had an experience. Whereas before that, he didn't know what it was. Okay, and then suddenly, upon his enlightenment, he had an experience. Upon this experience, he was by himself at that time. There wasn't any nomination of what I mean, nomination, is it the right word? There is no terminology to call this experience yet. It's just like you come to this place, which you don't know what it is before, so you just know the place. Okay?
There's no name.
No name. No name. You just know the place. Until much later on, you know, someone said that this place is Bangkok. Okay? But you saw the place before. So this is exactly the same. But that is an experience which he had before. So he took about 49 days. At first, he had the inclination in not to teach, because this state, this mental state that he had just, you know, freshly reached, was very refined, you know, very refined and very profound. And then he looked at the Indian society at that time. He still saw people, you know, hugging, you know, the comfort of self-indulgence or this thing in the material things. So he said that this kind of mind is very difficult to know something that is so much refined. So he had a little bit reluctant, say that should I teach or should I not teach? However, he spent 49 days trying to absorb this. It's just like 49 days that you know, explore this place that later on people call Bangkok, you know, explore this and that. This is the same, but this is all in the mental, on the spiritual level, you know, explore this and that. 49 days, which he didn't bump into any people, so there wasn't any vocabulary to call, you know, this state. Until the end of it, he decided, yes, I will teach. I will teach. So he traveled from Gaya all the way to Varanasi, which took about a good more than a month. It's a long walk, a very long walk at that time. And it was during this time that he was approaching his, you know, his 5 disciples who looked after him while he went through this self-mortification, you know, that I reckon that he got to plan the strategy how to teach, and this is how he teach. So basically, he got this experience first, experience real, okay? So when he started teaching, he said that everyone must have this W in wisdom. Everyone must have the wisdom, okay? Know that this experience is the goal of everyone's life, no matter who you are, no matter what you believe in politics, in religion, it doesn't matter, as long as you're a human being, okay? Everyone must have the wisdom to know that your goal of life is trying to reach this experience. This experience is nothing more than the end of all your mental tortures. If I use just the terminologies of today. Okay, let's have a look at this. This is my very simple tool props that I use. If this one represents your body, your life form, which you have a body, okay? So your body is here, the solid past, okay? And this is your brain, I don't use the word mind, okay? Your brain belong to your body, okay? And then you also have the word that you call mind, your mental state, mind. You see, in English, in Western term, you use just one word, mind. But the Buddha's concept, in fact, is made of two words, made up of two different nature, okay? Two different nature or entity. So, like in Thai word, we call jit and then jai. Jit and jai, okay? Jit and jai. Which later, I have to use the word Tom and Jerry, because I don't know how to separate mine for you. So I thought, oh, Tom and Jerry, that is very good, you know, equivalence to separate the word mind for you.
So jit and jai.
Jit, yeah, jit means your thought, or your think, you know, or your thought and feelings, thought and mental feelings is the jit, okay? Whereas jai is more equivalent to the word consciousness. Is the entity, a natural element or entity that whose function is to know, to recognize, or to know, or to be conscious. Okay, in Pali term, in the Buddhist term, is very clear cut. The way that the Buddha, you know, distinguish, separate this human life form. Okay, so you got the state of the flesh, the mass, and then you got the energy part, which is called jit jai, or Tom. This is Tom. This is Jerry. So which later on I call mental self. This is your physical self. This mental self. But before we get into that, okay, I just want to say that this state, okay, this state is nothing more than the stillness of the mind, okay? Whereas before that, before the enlightenment of the Buddha, the whole of humanity in the world at that time, they all experience the state of the mind that is shaking, okay? Or you can say losing control. Losing control, I don't mean, you know, the extreme like madness or breaking down. It ranging from a very mild stress, okay, a mind, a mental state, you know, ranging from stress, okay, just rattling a bit, and then you also got the, okay, worry, anxiety, rattling a bit more, and then you've got depression, constantly rattling in there, okay, and then you've got a bit more extreme, which is called breakdown, and then suicidal. Okay, all this shaking, rattling, unsettlement in here, in your mind, according to the Buddha, who know best now, he called suffering. It's very important that you got to define the word suffering, because I remember when I, in the past, every time when I talk to the Westerners, like my husband, English, and I said that, he asked me what the Buddha teaches. I said, he teaches about, how to end the suffering. And straight away I said that, but we don't have any suffering. You live in England, you don't have suffering. So his meaning, his image of suffering, straight away he think of India, think of Calcutta, think of beggars, or Africa, with people with heavy poverty, people, dying every. That is called suffering. But that is not the meaning of the suffering of the Buddha. No. The meaning of suffering in the Buddha's term, he means that the state of mind that is rattled, unsettled, from the very mild state, okay, to the extreme state. In his view, he called suffering. Okay, so we got to make this clear. Otherwise, you won't understand Buddhism, because especially the Westerner like yourself, a lot of people think that, but I don't have any suffering, I live in a $3 million, dollars house, or 10 million, so why I have suffering? I got lots of money, I got status, I got power, I don't have suffering. But whenever that your mental state, okay, shaking out of whatever reason, okay, resent someone, disappointing of something, worry about something, or having all these things. In the Buddha's term, he means suffering. Okay, so we get this very clear. So the end of the suffering, the Buddha means in control. So this is lose control. Even a mild state, to him, or to the Buddha, it means losing control of your mind. So what he found on the night of the enlightenment, he found a state that is completely still and quiet and in control. In control. And in his term, he called the end of suffering, okay, and which later on he called it nirvana. So the Buddha said that, when he started teaching, he said that every humanity, every single human being must set this as the supreme goal of their life. That is to bring the mind to the state that in total control. Okay, to be able to bring the mind to the state that that can be completely silent and still and in control. And in control. So when his 5 disciples heard that, is there such a thing that you completely still and quiet and in control, end of suffering? So please tell me. So if I put down this in control, true, let's say true happiness, true happiness, right? True happiness, in control. Which later on he called nirvana. Nirvana. So when his disciples said that, if there is such a thing, that called true happiness, the end of suffering, all these things, please quickly tell me how you can achieve it. Okay, so the Buddha said, yes, I can help you. What you must do, you must practice the M. Okay, M represents morality. Morality, which means that every action that is good, do it. Every action that is not good, don't do it. I make it very simple. If your mind tell you that this is a bad action, bad deeds, don't do it. I'm sorry I have to show you this one, which is in Thai. I haven't translated into English yet, but I can tell you. So this part, okay, I kind of generate into 5 items. So the first one, okay, is to practice morality. Now, observe morality. The 5 basic morality is do not kill, do not lie, do not commit adultery, do not steal, and do not intoxicate yourself, which is quite difficult in the world, in the Western society. But I mean, there is a lot of details in there. And then secondly, I urge people to practice giving. Practice giving, you know, generosity. From giving material things to giving time to people, to chat, giving patience, not just, you know, losing your temper too quickly, and forgiving, you know, you bring something forgiving, all these things is all about giving, okay? And then giving the Dharma, the teaching of the Buddha, they're called Dharma, is the best giving really, you know, to share this profound wisdom to people. That's secondly. And then thirdly, humility. You know, make yourself very low, very rooted, very grounded, simple, humble, all these things. Okay, so that is the third thing. And don't be afraid of death, because all this death is not real death yet. It's just a false death. I can show you with what's in that later. And then you must believe in the law of action, the law of karma. Okay, so these 5 items, okay, so if you use this one, so this is about losing control or suffering in the Buddha's eye, okay. So as soon as you practice this first M, morality, or these 5 things, 5 items list, okay, observing morality, giving, simplicity, don't be afraid of that, and then believing in the law of karma. All this unsettlement that is quite extreme just now can be reduced by half. Can be reduced by half. Okay? Imagine if you don't go to kill or steal or lie, you know. You can sit quite still and peacefully, can't you? In vice versa, if you go happen to do anything that that is immoral, you know, impure, your mind will be rattled like this, for fear that, you know, someone might catch you, you know, and found you guilty, throw you in jail, that kind of thing. But as soon as you do these 5 things, you know, you can be at peace, you know, for quite a lot already. So morality does have a very clear goal if you know the ultimate goal of life. So the clear goal of practicing morality is nothing more than make your mind in control. Quite a high percentage of, you know, to be able to be in control already. So that is the goal of practicing morality. However, a lot of people already be a good person, morally good, but they're still very unhappy. I often have telling a story of this young girl in England. She was only 12 years old. She was only 12 years old, but she was, what happened, she was a bit plump, you know. And then at school, she was bullied. She was mocked and teased by her school friend with 5 words. You are fat and ugly. You're fat and ugly, you're fat and ugly. Every day, you're fat and ugly. So what happened is that one day she killed herself. She killed herself. And then what happened is that when the press came to interview the mother, why your daughter, she's only 12 years old, why she killed herself, you know. And then she told many things, but one thing that is really, you know, touching me is that the mother said that, do you know that my daughter was a good girl? She was kind, okay? She didn't like to harm small animals. because normally children, you know, when they see small ants or worms, you know, they kill just quite naturally, you know, stamp on it. But she said that my daughter didn't do any things like that. She was a good girl. She was so kind to all the animal. But can you tell me that why a good girl like my daughter have to end her life like this? And she killed herself with just this 5 words: "You are fat and ugly." So I just want to say that society nowadays, being a good person, morally good, is not enough. It isn't enough. You know, there is something else too, like all this picture, you know. Okay, she might be a good girl, but you end up with a husband like this. Are you unhappy? Okay, so all these 5 things, it doesn't help her to be any happier, is it? Okay, or something like this. You know, it won't make you any happier if you know, or accidents, illnesses, we never know when it's going to happen. Even though you're a good person, you know, you don't do all the bad thing, think of the good thing, but when illnesses, you know, hit you, accident hit your loved one, you can be so unhappy as well, or something like this, you know. You work so hard all your life, you know, one thing you cannot do is to suck up to your boss, and then those who know how to suck up, they just, you know, move up the ladder, and while you're, you know, stamping at the same place. So it can make you so unhappy. So it answers that being morally good, it doesn't guarantee, you know, inner peace. So the disciple asked that, is there a quicker way to help me, you know, to reach this true happiness, this end of suffering, you know, a bit quicker? Then the Buddha said, yes, of course, there is a way. So, and that way you got to practice another M, okay? And this M is meditation. This M is meditation, whereas this M morality. Take you halfway, you know, take you halfway. But if anyone can do meditation, it can just take you all the way to true happiness, end of suffering, in control, very quickly, very quickly. So my role is trying to help people on this means, okay? The meditation that they call inner sight meditation, which I call bring your mental self back home. So if you can practice bring your mental self back home, you can reach the true happiness, you know, in control very quickly. Okay, so anyway, this structure of life, which is, I show you on this computer now. This structure of life, okay. Yeah. The structure of life represents the culture, have been weaved into the culture in all Buddhist country. So in Buddhist country like Thailand, Burma, Laos, Cambodia, they all grow up, you know, with the term Seen, Samadhi, Panya, or wisdom, morality and meditation, and then the word Nirvana, all these things, and taking the 5 precepts, all these things, you see. So this should be the correct structure of life for humanity, with a very clear goal to take you to the inner peace or the mental harmony. Okay, inner peace or mental harmony. And if we replace the word inner peace or harmony with the word Nirvana, God or Tao, or the ultimate truth, they all mean the same experience. But my new coinage is the innocent perception. Okay, so all this is supposed to be the very clear goal of all human beings, no matter who you are, you know, what gender or what belief that you have. This is very scientific based. But unfortunately, this structure of life has been thinned down. People don't talk about it because the lack of the real teacher, the teacher who really know the state of nirvana, know the state of, you know, true happiness, inner peace. So when you don't have many teachers around, this kind of wisdom kind of lost in between, and then it has been replaced by the structure of life instead. It has been replaced by money, wealth, status, and power, which is the wrong view. It's the wrong view. It's the wrong, goal of life. And then the means that reach the end is also wrong as well. People corrupt. Morality, is everywhere. Even though all this education, everything is all based on how to prepare our young children to be able to earn money 20 years after. That's all there is to it. We do not prepare our children to be a happy person or a morally good person or a person that can be really in control of their mind. We don't. We kind of prepare them to be able to compete in this very competitive society, equipping them with all this, information, all this skill that can earn money. That's all there is to it. So in 20 years, 30 years after, they'll be exactly like us, sit here and complaining how boring the job is, how awful, how, resentful, and how much they hate the job and don't want to go into the workplace, which is very sad, isn't it? Which is very sad. So my point, my aim of my work is trying to bring back this original goal of life, to help people to know exactly what the inner peace is, how to be able to be in control, mentally in control, which is very good, very good. So no matter who you are, you need to be in control of your mind, okay? Which the Buddha have given us a very clear means to it. Apart from that, is the meditation, which I call bring your mental self back home.